we all know, the aftermath of COVID-19 has forced countries to impose lockdowns and travel restrictions. Even though we're entering phase 3, life for some might still be a standstill, which is why we created a list of local destinations for our fellow Singaporeans to help you tide through these homebound times.
Until our borders are reopened, let's explore what our little red dot has to offer. Oh, and if you're a foreigner looking to visit Singapore in the near future, hopefully this little virtual guide will help you in your existing travel plans.
First off the list is Kampong Lorong Buangkok. Now, this is Singapore's one and only kampong left, which effectively takes you back in time once you set foot in the area.
There are about 30 Chinese and Malay families living here, and life happens at a more relaxed pace, similar to the atmosphere you get in Pulau Ubin. So if you're visiting, do be mindful and considerate. You wouldn't want to disrupt this tranquil way of life here.
In between locations, while we're in the car, might as well just discuss a little bit more about the Honda Civic. So my question is for Jay. What was your thought process when you were purchasing the Honda Civic, and how was your shopping experience like with Kah Motors?
The buying experience was pretty nice actually. We weren't expecting to get the car initially. We just wanted to get a second-hand car as a daily run around, but the prices were pretty competitive and the interest rate was quite attractive. So yeah, basically we got approached by a sales consultant within like 2 minutes or a minute of stepping foot into the showroom. And they were really friendly. They just showed us all the options and started listing down what we could get. And I think this model is on its way out because the new 2022 Civic just released a week after we ordered the car. So basically this car's on its way out, so it's a little bit cheaper. But yeah.
Named after the Palembang prince, the Nila Utama Gardens is a recreation of Southeast Asian gardens from the 14th century.
And it kind of resembles Lempuyang's Gate of Heaven in Bali. So I mean, since you can't travel, this is like your second best alternative. So let's check it out.
That little terrapin or tortoise there just ate a fish in a pond. Like him and another,
His son.
whatever it was, his brother, his son, his friend, I don't care.
He told me it was quite delicious.
Are there any features or highlights worth mentioning about the Civic?
Well, apart from looks, it has a fully digital gauge cluster, which is a little bit strange because I came from driving an old Altis, Toyota Altis, and that had analog dials, but this is, well, it's the current trend, it's new, and everyone's heading this way, so yeah.
Okay, so basically it's very minimal. You don't have to focus too much on it while you're driving. You can just look straight ahead and then just pick as you wish.
Yeah.
Alright, so now we're at Portsdown Road, and this is actually pretty near our office at 1 North. So this is one of the places that Kai mentioned, our videographer, mentioned to me earlier on that people actually do come here for their wedding shoots. Fortunately for the both of us, neither of us is getting married anytime soon. Nestled among old British colonial-style buildings in Portsdown Road lies an abandoned water tank that kind of resembles a UFO.
Now, there used to be a rusty ladder that you could use to climb up into the water tank, but by the looks of things, I think they removed it for good reason. But thrill seekers out there, I guess, hard luck. But we've actually seen pictures of what it looks like inside, and let me tell you, there's nothing there.
So, I mean, if you still want to check it out, we'll take you and let's get a closer look. So 100 meters down the road, you'll actually find Cafe Colbar. This was actually opened in the 1950s by the Lim family, and it kind of resembles a Kampong theme style. I'm assuming they have not renovated the place since, so it kind of gives you like this nostalgic secret hideaway kind of feel or aesthetics when you enter the cafe. But you'll see what we're going to order as well, because it's 1:46 p.m. and we are starving. Alright, so while Jay checks out his, egoistic self, we actually ordered the same thing. So it's roasted chicken wedges as well as mushroom that's pretty much drenched in brown gravy. So this cafe actually serves like Western and Asian cuisines, and prices range between like $5 to $20, which is a pretty affordable price point. This is about $12. This is your regular like iced lemon tea, which is $4. So that's what you would probably be expecting to pay when you visit this place. So we're back from our lunch at Cafe Colbar. Food was amazing, and just a fun fact, it was formerly known as a canteen for the British Army. So right now we are at
Sungei Buloh Wetland Reserve.
which is Singapore's first ASEAN Heritage Park. So there are a total of 4 trails that you can embark on. Each of them would take roughly 2 to 4 hours depending on the one that you've selected.
And it's actually a lot more different than the usual nature reserves like Bukit Timah or the Treetop Walk. It's more secluded and quiet, not overhyped like those are.
Yeah, so you wouldn't have to like fight it around with people if you want to take like your Instagram pictures and stuff like that. There are also nature trails where you can spot mud skippers, monkeys and climbing crabs on the mangroves boardwalks. Okay, so my last question for you on the Honda Civic is, what are the pros and cons of owning this car?
Pros, it rides well, it handles well. It is relatively fuel efficient for me. Now the con of it is, I kind of expected better fuel economy given that it's a CVT.
Yeah, it's a stereotype in the car industry. But I mean, ultimately, you do see a lot of Civics on the road because it is a great fuel economy car. Fuel efficient, right?
It's a great daily all-rounder
Yeah.
basically.
So you'll notice that the weather conditions have changed drastically, but the show must go on. And speaking of shows, right now we are at the former Tuas TV World site. And a lot of millennials will probably be familiarized with this background because this is where a lot of historical, iconic Channel 8 or rather MediaCorp shows were filmed at back in the day.
It was formerly used by the Television Corporation of Singapore back in the 90s, and it was back in the day when it was called TCS before MediaCorp. And it was a hugely popular production venue for several local period dramas, and it was made to replicate Singapore in the 1950s and 60s. However, in 2001, the studio was shut down and has since been taken over by the Singapore Police Force as the tactical training village for Special Forces training.
However, MediaCorp returned back to site in 2012 to film a final Channel 8 period drama, a final swan song of this iconic set.
Now we're at the Raffles Marina Lighthouse. So the lighthouse was built in 1994 and it's built on the tip of the Marina Club's breakwaters, and it overlooks the Tuas Second Link, which is Singapore's second causeway into Malaysia.
Yeah, and we would recommend that you visit around the evening time if you want to catch a sunset view. So just bear this in mind that you only have a 30-minute time frame. So we would recommend you visiting between 6 to 6:30 p.m. And you can also consider a staycation right at Raffles Marina Hotel because it's just right opposite. So with COVID and everything happening, this is quite a good opportunity to consider at this timing.
And it has a great view too.
Since we're on the topic of the lighthouse, I just want to add in a little clip of when me and Jay were here the last time and he caught a snail on his head and he befriended that snail. Although Singapore is a small island with limited geographical range, there is still a plethora of unknown locations that are inaccessible by public transport.
And unlike other road-based transit vehicles, cars still provide the highest level of convenience, which is why we hope this little road trip has helped you discover Singapore's best-kept secrets and under-the-radar gems.
So, have you been to any of these places before? Let us know in the comment section down below, and as always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next time. Bye! Yeah, and you know, for the record, if you are here physically in the car, and also for many other days, you'll hear him going on and on about the Civic, which can get pretty thing at times. But so far it's quite bearable. He'll be like, oh my god, look at the other Civics on the road, look at the mods they have. Like, which car do you think is better? Which Civic is better? Mine or theirs? Mine or theirs? Mine or theirs?
For the physical car embodiment of the Monopoly fella, you know that short bald fella with the hat.
Yeah, he's called Walter.
Oh my, really?
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
I made it up. Yeah. See, I cut my nails and it's damn short, but I managed to remove the broken ones. And now it's in this like gorgeous shade of dusty rosy pink. Gorgeous. And you know, I paid $40 for this.
This is what I deal with on a daily basis.
It's a privilege.